We all know great packaging can make or break your product in the sale. No one wants ugly packaging to come along with soap. As editor of Handmade Seller magazine, I've had an opportunity to interview a lot of different soap artisans, and I want to share some examples with you of 7 great packaging designs for soap, and why I actually found those interesting and what was unique, as well as what went into it from the considerations from the artisan's perspective as to why they chose the packaging they chose. So let's get started on those soap packaging ideas. The first one is from Bellis Parva. Bellis Parva was really looking to do a DIY label. Let's face it, a lot of businesses start with DIY labels. When you're first testing out your soap packaging, you're trying to figure out, am I gonna custom order this? Am I gonna make it myself? What am I gonna do? Bellis Parva wanted to go with something that was light footprint. Don't keep a ton of inventory on hand, but wanted to be able to make it herself. So she has this very unique soap design where it's a tall, skinny bar. So it's a little unique, and a lot of standard packaging didn't work the greatest with her particular design. So she decided to go with a tall, because of her tall and skinny soap style, meant that she could go with designing her own labels. So she decided to use Photoshop and create her own design. Then she prints it on some basic cardstock or on label sticker paper that she gets online. Very simple, very DIY. Very small business and an even smaller budget. So this works really well for her. Now her advice is that this actually has created a very distinctive design and packaging that her customers have come to recognize. She's shared that she couldn't tell you how many times her customers found her at an event or at a store because they remembered that label. DIY doesn't mean bad, DIY just means DIY. So if you want to go that route, make sure it is something that is distinctive. Our next featured artisan is the Wayward Sisters Soap and Candle Company. Now, they did something unique by having an in-period design for their labeling. What I thought that was so significant or unique about this, one is this look isn't really like a lot of other things that I'd seen, but also has some really neat design elements as part of it. This one looks like something from the colonial period. This was originally made for a colonial festival that they were attending, so they had to do something that was in period. So they did a white soap, but then what do you do for the label? So for the label, they took a basic cardstock, and then they also tied it basically with a twine and had a wax seal on it. So the intention here was really to make something that would look like it came from those colonial times. That's also why the soap was white and isn't colored like some of their other soaps in their soap lines. So for them, this became a whole different product line. So not only was it successful at this festival they were selling at, they started actually using it to sell to bed and breakfast, to museum gift shops. So it created a whole new market that loved this simplistic period design. So think about how could your packaging actually enhance the different places that your product is sold. The third example is Whispering Willow out of North Carolina. I would call this really elegant simplicity. When you look at the overall design, the packaging is not distracting from how the soap looks. Julia, the founder of Whispering Willow, had shared with us when choosing her packaging, she wanted to be intentional that that wave-like design at the top of the soap bar is what was really emphasized. So they actually had a company called Shop Therapy design custom boxes for them. And then they had a partner actually create those custom boxes. So this got them that elegant, simple design that allows them to see that waveform at the top of the soap and have that be the highlight of the product. Now this fourth example, Pine Creek Soapworks, is a fantastic combo for a gift. So if you are actually making some of your soaps into gifts for the holiday season or any holiday season, I think you'd really love this particular gift combo. Okay, now, what is so unique about this particular combo? First off, the soaps themselves. Look at those colors. Those are gorgeous. They're beautiful designs as part of that. And this was really, for the soap maker, this was really about emphasizing natural decoration. So a lot of thought went into it. So she was inspired by years gone by. She wanted things that were nostalgic and charming. So think like garlands of cranberries with popcorn, dried fruit, elements like evergreens. All of that was what she was inspired by in creating the design for this particular soap. So how did she actually make them? I wanted a little inside scoop. Like, how did you get them to look like this? So woodland soap got its rich deep green color from chlorella, French green clay, and a small amount of activated charcoal to deepen the tone. The top was accented with a little tiny pine cone, and red peppercorn sweet peppermint soap had lovely white swirls in an ivory base, colored with white kaolin clay, a sprinkle of rock salt on top. Then finally, that third one in the trio was her personal favorite, cranberry orange. Do you see that gorgeous orange on the top? So how'd she get that? She actually pulled out her food dehydrator, dehydrated Cara oranges, and used that as the decoration on the top. Talk about inspiring and using other things you have on hand. So these actually became really a centerpiece at that particular soap. And then she also added some cranberry seeds on top of the turmeric and rose kaolin clay-colored base, and so the effect was then complete. She took those 3 soaps and then put them in a small 3x5 wood crate, and this completed the effect and actually turned it into a beautiful, easy to purchase trio. This ended up becoming such a good seller. She sold it both through retailers, so she sold wholesale as well as direct to consumer. It was also very popular with stockists. So if you're selling some of your soaps wholesale, interesting things about how you put together these little trios and these kinds of gifts is something for you to think about. She's later created editions for spring and has the opportunity to create it for other seasons. So she's really gotten onto something that's worked incredibly well for her business and been really, really popular with retailers as well. Now the 5th artisan I interviewed is Kaya Soaps. Kaya Soaps was unique because of its simple, eco-friendly packaging design. I suspect you're getting the idea at this point that, wow, there are so many aesthetics, so many designs that you can look for. It's really about matching who are you as a soap maker and how does that packaging help that come across. Now for Kaya Soaps, simple and eco-friendly packaging was the best approach for them. They loved the delicate colors in the design along with a very minimalist look. So for them, they really wanted a very simple looking design. So I asked Priya from Kaya Soaps about this and said, well, how did you actually decide on this? And so their soaps are made using natural and organic plant-based ingredients and essential oils. So they wanted the packaging to fit the fact that they had these simpler ingredients in their soap. They chose handmade paper to wrap the soaps. So it's their tiny little contribution toward helping sustain the handmade paper industry. It's traditionally made using bamboo leaves, flowers, and leaves of other trees. So it's not just paper, it's a very special handmade paper, something that elevates that experience while also being eco-friendly at the same time. They do print their labels as they need to in the studio as well, and the labels are recyclable. So for them, eco-friendly has been taken all of the way throughout their product. The next one is Soaps and Beyond out of West Virginia. This one's really about a little splash of color, something in the packaging that ties the packaging to the particular soap. Look at this gorgeous limoncello soap. You almost want to eat it, although not quite, because that wouldn't taste very good. Something about this soap just doesn't just scream spring and a beautiful season and beautiful smells. It just, everything about this one, I absolutely love this. So in this particular case, the creation of this limoncello soap was something that was supposed to set the mood for the day. Think of the brightness of the smell of lemon. And so the essential oil blend is used to help you focus, and the citrus essential oils are well known for repelling insects as well. So she usually tries to have a couple of different benefits with these particular soaps. It's 100% natural colored with annetto seeds, which are rich in antioxidants to help protect the skin from the damage caused by free radicals. Limoncello was originally formulated to be a spring seasonal soap, but it's become a staple because people love it so much. And that was a theme for several of these soap makers, is they really discovered that these products were so beloved that they had to create them year-round or create different iterations and versions of them. And the packaging actually enhanced those wonderful soaps. So in this case, with the limoncello soap, the packaging is aimed to be very minimalistic. It's meant to just focus on the high-quality ingredients that nurture your skin versus investing a lot in packaging that you're just going to throw away. So in this case, they had a basic soap label template that they use, and then they customize it with the needed information. And they print them all in-house with a soy-based ink, as it's more environmentally friendly as well. So now several times now you've heard, we print them in-house, we print them in-house, we print them in-house. So if you've ever felt like there's pressure to have to order externally, no, look at these gorgeous designs printed in-house. Now the final one that I want to show you is from Soap Days, and they're in Devon in the United Kingdom. This is also a very minimalist, clean style that matches well with their brand. They also make this incredible frankincense soap. I mean, look at that. That is so cool. What a neat touch for that, especially for the holiday season and that time of year. So I had to learn a little bit more about this one. So I reached out and asked questions about this frankincense soap, as well as the other soaps at Soap Days Devon. All the soaps are also uniquely stamped with their branding. So even if you take the packaging off, you still know that it was a Soap Days product. So branding's been taken a little further, not just on the label, but also on the product itself. So in 2016, she did a lot of branding work to get a proper brand look. The first few years of business, as she would say, it was a little bit of a hot mess. And she was DIYing it, didn't really have all these structured designs. But in 2016, worked with the designer to give it a proper branding look. And they use a branded craft card matchbox style soap box, so you can slide it open to see the soaps for it as well. So there are all these different ways that you can put your packaging together. There's some really beautiful things that you can do that will enhance and help you sell your product. So think of your packaging as not just, oh, it's the label on the product. It's an enhanced way to continue to sell your product. And follow along for some of my other videos. Make sure you like and subscribe this if you enjoy this particular kind of content. And I've got more videos coming, and more videos on what kind of packaging that additional soap artisans are choosing for their products. Thanks for watching this far.